BB here. So today I'm going to do a video or a movie review on my YouTube. I haven't done a movie review. Who knows what the last movie I did that I reviewed. I am a big time movie person. I love movies, especially scary. I haven't done much on my channel lately just because, well, obviously in order to do something you have to have a story or something to talk about. And I don't want to say I haven't had things to talk about. It's just, there's some things you just don't talk about, There's things you just don't say on YouTube. But, I'm going to talk about the movie Fall. I went out last night to go see it with a girlfriend of mine. And I'm just going to do a review on the movie. Now, don't worry. I'm not going to do any spoilers because the movie just came out like a week ago. So I'm not going to do any spoilers, but I am going to talk about it. So if you don't want to risk knowing anything at all, well, then don't watch this. But I'm not going to spoil the movie. At least not now, because it's one thing if I do a movie review on a movie that's been out for like more than a year. Then that's one thing. 5 years, that's one thing. If the movie's been out for a while, then that's one thing. But this movie's brand spanking new. So I'm not going to do a spoiler. Okay, so this movie is about two young girls that are like extreme rock climbing people. I ain't talking about no Chuck E. Cheese rock climbing. You go to like a fun zone place that you take your kids and they have a cute little plastic fake rock that you climb up that you don't even need a harness. That they have padding just in case, God forbid, someone falls. We're talking about these people are climbing like Mount Everest. These people are climbing like towers and anything that they can get their hands on to climb. I don't mean that sexually. They're climbing it. I will tell you, you could never catch me doing something like that. When I was in high school, we had a rock climbing wall that would come in once a year around like Christmas. It would come like a few weeks before Christmas. I don't know actually when it came. I just know it was in high school, my 4 years of high school. This high school that I went to had a rock climbing wall that would come in once a year. I can't remember exactly. I think it was around Christmas, but I don't know for sure. I've been out of high school for 10 years now. I feel old. I know some people are probably going to be watching this like, you ain't old, kid. You are not old, but I don't know. So me and a girlfriend went to go see it yesterday night. We were originally going to go see... Oh, I was talking about what the movie was about. My bad. So this movie's about two girls that go climb this cellular tower. It's a tower. It's called... I think they call it like the B16 tower. I think it's a cell phone tower, if I'm not mistaken. And I'm not spoiling the movie because this is technically in the trailer. So I'm not spoiling the movie. But of course, they get stuck. They climb this 2,000 feet ladder, 2,000 feet tower. It's 2,000 feet up in the air. It doesn't seem like it's that high. But it's that high. My kinkle hurts just thinking about it. And the first thing they do when they climb it, the first few steps is rattling. It's shaking. It's moving. They walk up to this tower and it's swinging in the wind. I was like, oh, hell, no. There's not enough money on this planet to get me to do that. I don't care if I'm in the harness or not. I don't care if there's 12 people with me or not. Even though apparently that tower couldn't handle two skinny girls that were like 90 pounds. That's why you normally never see a lot of fat people in movies like this, because someone like me in a movie like The Fall would not survive. I would not survive. I would lose weight, and I do need to lose weight. Well, a lot of weight. We're not going to talk about that, but I just wouldn't survive. But anyways, so they climb this tower, and obviously they get to the top. Nice views, I will admit, the views were nice. Even though it was super windy up there. And this, I will tell you, most people will probably agree with me. I'm 50-50 about heights. It just depends. I'll go up on like the Willis Tower. Oh, the Sears Tower. People call it the Willis Tower, but to me it would always be the Sears Tower. I've been up on the Space Needle in Seattle. I didn't go on that floor that was made of glass, where I actually did, but my sister told me she would give me $50 if I did. So I went out on the moving floor. That my legs were shaking like, I can't say it because it's not funny. I shouldn't joke about that. I was gonna joke about Michael J. Fox, even though it's not something to joke about. I love his acting, but what can I say? My legs were shaking like a 9.9 magnitude earthquake. Like, my legs were shaking like my hands are shaking now. Like just talking about this movie is making my hands shake. Of course, my hands shake a lot, but anyways. So they get up on this tower and they're about to head down. Okay, good job. Big deal. You made it up. People say going downstairs or going down the ladder is a lot easier than going up. Not when it's so high. An airplane needs to come and save you. Or a helicopter. Or the vultures. Or a bird. Or something like... Yeah, let me tell you something. Oh, this movie made my hands sweat. Throughout this whole movie, at least to the point until they get to the tower, my hands were sweating. My stomach was like, ooh. I've seen the scariest movie on the planet, The Exorcist, The Conjuring, Insidious. I've seen Halloween, Scream, Texas Chainsaw, you name it. I've seen a lot of scary movies. I love scary movies. I've seen them all. Well, almost all of them. There's a lot I haven't seen, but you get the point. I've seen the major ones. And they don't scare me. This movie, and I'm sure someone else can agree with me, is the equivalent of a scary movie for someone like me. Because it's like, this scares me. This, I sweat. A guy with a knife and a chainsaw and knives for fingers, I don't sweat. I would rather put up with my house being haunted and ghosts doing poltergeist stuff, and me being haunted by a ghost and having to deal with a ghost, than climb this ladder. And I don't like ghost stuff at all. You ask anybody that knows me and they're like, Brenna hates ghost stuff. Brenna hates ghost things. Like, I'll watch the movies like The Conjuring and Insidious, but when it comes to real life, I'd rather be chased with a guy or a gal with a knife, because then I could take them. A ghost, you can't shoot. A ghost is already dead, according to Detective Kincaid from Scream 3. That's true. But anyways, this movie had me on the edge of my seat. There was so many times where I was just like, oh, making faces, because, you go to see it in big screen. This was the standard screen. I would tell you, if this was on the IMAX, I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. I don't know if I would have been able to stay, because this was making my stomach turn on the regular size movie screen. That's the standard size. No IMAX or 4DX or anything like that. But let me tell you, I was my friend said that her palms were sweating. I told her, I said, I think everyone in the theater's hands are sweating. Like, if your hands do not sweat from this movie, you need to go to the doctor. Oh, my God. Like, if someone would tell me, hey, let's go climb this tower, I would be like, I'll go with you, but you ain't gonna get me on that tower. Even if you were to throw me over your shoulders, even though you would have to be pretty strong to carry me, you still probably would not be able to do it. I would be scratching and kicking and ripping your neck and arm and anything I could grab apart. Like, ooh, I don't know if I could even handle climbing up 10 steps. 10 steps may seem like it's nothing, but this particular tower, if my friends would none of my friends climb, But if they would be like, oh, Brenna, let's go climbing, I would be like, yeah, I'll go on the trip with you just for fun, but you ain't gonna catch me on that tower with a 10-foot pole. Like, girl, like, no. Ooh. When it swings in the wind, because this is a tower that's 2,000 feet up in the air. This tower was like, I don't want to say it's this big, but it was a very thin, skinny tower. We're talking about, I feel like I would trust myself better to climb the electrical power line things that you see for like in the streets for like cable or TV. Even though I wouldn't climb that neither, but I feel like I could trust that more than this pole. This pole was wobbling in the wind. It had to be no more than 50 feet this way, 50 feet that way, not even like, it was a very small sized tower. The only thing that big that was about it was the height, 2,000 feet. First of all, can you even breathe with your own air at 2,000 feet? I feel like you would need a mask, even though I'm no doctor, so I wouldn't know. This movie was an okay movie. I could probably see it again, in all honesty. If someone wanted to go see it with me, I probably could sit through it again. It was an hour and 45 minutes. That is kind of a little bit of a long movie. It's not like it was a 2-hour movie. We were originally going to go see Elvis, because my friend Monica wants to go see Elvis. But by the time we went to the movies, it was already like 7 o'clock at night. And Elvis is like a 3-hour movie. And my friend had to work the next day. So she's like, let's just go see the movie Fall. So I was like, I'm down. I'm down to see, well, almost any movie. If she would have said E.T., I would have been like, okay, phone home, bye. I don't like E.T. I seriously didn't like the movie E.T. My mom loves it, but I just never got in the feeling of E.T. And I know a lot of people are probably going to hate me for that, but oh well. This movie, I mean, there was like one twist that I didn't really see coming. My friend saw it coming, but it was like, well, I mean, you kind of, like, once it happened, you kind of was like, oh, that makes sense now. You know, you kind of figured, oh, that makes total sense now that the twist happened. The twist is towards the end. And it's kind of a good twist because it's just a good twist. But there was a few things that, you know, was predictable. Now, of course, I've seen a lot of movies. I've seen a lot of movies to the point where if I could tell you every single movie that I've actually seen, that it would be impossible for me to tell you every single movie I've seen. I'll be right out. Because that's how many movies I've seen. I've seen a lot. Especially scary. It was kind of a few things that were predictable. That I kind of saw coming. But yeah, neighbors honking the horn. But like, there was also a few things that I was like, okay, I didn't see that coming. You know, only a few things, not much. But I mean, it's pretty much the whole movie. I will tell you, the first like maybe 20 minutes of it is just the girls figuring out their life and what's going to happen next and getting to the tower. So there's about maybe 15-20 minutes of the movie, half an hour of the movie, where it's trying to make their way to the tower. The rest of the movie is them on the tower. And I will tell you, it actually kind of surprised me, because it's like, okay, seriously, like, how are they going to get out of this? I think it's the same directors as like 27 meters down or 47 meters something. It's similar. There's a lot of movies out there that are like this. It's two people trying to survive in a very unique, awkward place. Like down in the ocean. Or like in the air balloon or something that keeps floating and floating. You know, it's a survival movie. You have to figure out how are they going to survive. So it kind of gets you to like, okay, how are they going to survive? How are they going to get out of this? You know, they got no food, they got no water, they got no phone signal. They're trapped on this tower that's 2,000 feet up in the air. They can't just jump down. They only have like 50 feet of rope. It definitely got you curious to like, okay, how are they going to escape? Like, how are they going to get out of here? Like, it got me like, you know, it even got someone like me thinking. Like, I'm like, okay, this got my hands sweaty just watching the trailer, but it's like I might like enjoy this movie. And I don't want to say I didn't enjoy this movie. It was an okay movie, you know. I've seen it once. If I never see it again in my life, I'll be okay on my deathbed. You know, if I'm on my deathbed and my sister says, "So, what do you think about never seeing the movie Fall again?" I would be like, "What's the movie Fall? Who was in it? What is it about?" But no, I would honestly be like, whatever, you know. But again, if someone else wanted to see it, I would be like, okay, let's do it. But yeah, that's my review.